This is a rustic, delicious, objectively chocolatey cake. It is not showy, it is not fancy, it's just like homey and cozy and snacky and perfect. Hi, I'm Deb, and welcome back to the Smitten Kitchen. Today we're making one of my favorite recipes ever, the I Want Chocolate Cake cake. The chocolate cake is plush and moist and dark chocolatey. The frosting is generous and fudgy but not too sweet, and there's definitely rainbow sprinkles on top. I will show you how to make this whole thing in under an hour so you can have your chocolate cake too. We've got all-purpose flour, granulated sugar, dark brown sugar, 2 eggs, some softened butter, vanilla extract, fine sea salt, dark cocoa powder, baking soda, and buttermilk. This is an easy cake. We make it all in one bowl, so there's no separate bowls, there's no whipping egg whites, you don't even have to melt bar chocolate. We just use cocoa powder and it gets really rich and delicious. We're gonna start with softened butter, or as soft as you have it. If you forget to take it out, it's fairly forgiving, you just need to beat it a little bit longer. And we're gonna add to this 3/4 of a cup of dark brown sugar. And we're going to use just 2 tablespoons of granulated sugar. We're going to beat them together until they're smooth. From here, we're going to add 1 large egg. And we're just going to use the yolk from this egg. We can save the white for something else. I'm going to add a teaspoon of vanilla, which honestly I always eyeball. And beat it again until smooth. Then I just go a little higher for about 30 seconds and it gets a little fluffy. Here is the part where you're going to think something went wrong, and I'm going to show you that nothing has gone wrong. All right? Promise? All right. So we're going to add the buttermilk, and we are going to beat it in. And this is the point where everybody gets a little nervous because it looks a little bit broken or curdled, and it is fine. Do not worry about it, ignore it. Even if it looks lumpy right now, it's all gonna work out. It looks a little uneven because we added so much liquid at once, but as soon as we start adding the dry ingredients, it will come back together. The way I am able to make this a 1-bowl cake is that I actually add the dry ingredients directly to the wet ones without sifting them or whisking them on the side. And I do that by, before I add the big dry ingredients, I add the little ones. And we have some baking powder. I'm sprinkling it over the surface. Some baking soda, and some fine sea salt. And I'm gonna mix it really well. And this just ensures that it's really, really well distributed into the batter. Because if it's not evenly distributed, you might end up with lumps, you might end up with an uneven rise, or you might end up with kind of like small and large holes in the cake. We don't want that. This cake's gonna be perfect. So here's the point where it looks mixed. Might as well just go another 10 seconds. By doing it this way, you actually can't overbeat it. The only part of the cake that you can really overbeat is the flour. I'm gonna add the flour, and I'm gonna add the cocoa powder. As you can see, there is a lot of cocoa powder in this cake, and not a ton of flour, and that's why it makes it so rich without having to use melted chocolate. I'm just gonna mix the rest of this by hand so I don't overmix it. We are gonna bake this in an 8-inch square pan, which makes kind of like a mini sheet cake, a sheet cake just for you, and maybe some people who were nice to you that day if you want to share. Ooh, it smells good already. Just spread it smooth. To get the pan ready, I sprayed it lightly with nonstick spray, and then I covered the bottom with parchment paper, although I had a bigger piece so it went up the sides. You basically just need to cover the bottom though. The cake will probably come out either way, but it just gives you a little extra insurance. It's the I Want My Cake cake. It's the I forgot it was your birthday, but I made you a cake. It's the You Appreciation Week cake. It's the I've got new neighbors, maybe I should bring them a cake. That's the whole thing. We bake this cake at 350, although in my oven, 350 is 325 because the oven temperature is a little off. I'm gonna get that fixed one of these days. In the meanwhile, you bake it at 350. It bakes for between 20 and 30 minutes. Usually it's 25 minutes, but I'd rather you check in a little early than overbake your cake. That would be really sad. In you go. While the cake is baking, we're gonna make the frosting. And this is my favorite quick, easy chocolate buttercream because it's really fudgy for something with a very small amount of chocolate. To make this frosting, I use powdered sugar or confectioner's sugar. I use unsweetened chocolate, a pinch of fine sea salt, some vanilla, a spoonful of cream or milk. Sprinkles are not mandatory, but I think they are. Plus, we use half a cup of softened butter. You can melt this in a pot, you can melt it in a double boiler, but I'm going to melt it in the microwave. Okay. Whew. I actually got this a little too warm in the microwave, so I'm gonna let it cool for a few minutes. If you put in too hot melted chocolate, it will melt the butter and the texture won't be right. We are using 1.5 cups of powdered sugar, which I'm measuring in half cups. I'm using Vine sea salt because that's what I happen to have used for the cake, but truly you could use anything you've got nearby. We are going to drop a softened half cup of butter. You ready? Right now we're kind of like halfway to frosting. It's a little bit on the thick side, but once all the powdered sugar is mixed in, this is when I like to add the good stuff. I'm gonna add our melted cool chocolate. I'll also add a little dash of vanilla right now, just a drop. Now that the chocolate looks mostly blended in, I'm gonna give it a little scrape down, just so there's no unmixed pockets. Run it again, so it gets a little bit fluffier. And this is when you can add your spoonful of milk or cream. And that's it. We just made frosting. This is the fun part. Bloop. And I just kind of start pushing and swirling. Does this look like too much frosting for this cake? The correct answer is no way. That's the exact right amount of frosting. And the hardest part is just stopping while you're ahead. You'll want to keep swirling and it doesn't look better for it. I'm gonna stop. I have to stop. I'm gonna put sprinkles on the cake, which, I mean, honestly, is the next most fun part, right? I love these sprinkles because they look like confetti. It's the happiest thing and you deserve it. I like to cut it into smaller pieces. I like it to be a rich, snacky cake experience, but I don't need to like immediately need a nap afterwards. So I'm gonna cut this kind of small, and if you need another piece later, that is between you and your cake. 3 coming in. I'm gonna eat this now. I'm not gonna share it with anyone. All right, I'm going in. I gotta go, bye. This is a really good cake. It tastes much more chocolatey than you would expect from the amount of cocoa powder we put in. And the frosting is perfect. It's bittersweet and fudgy, but still tastes like a birthday cake frosting. This is the I Want Chocolate Cake, and I hope you love it. If you've made it, or if you have another favorite chocolate cake, I wanna hear all about it in the comments. I hope you like the video. I hope you subscribe and come back next week when we're gonna have a new delicious recipe for you in the Smitten kitchen. You can use this to kind of push it around. Okay, you don't need any help. It's like playing with Play-Doh, huh? Mm-hmm. You want to sprinkle them all over? Mm-hmm. This is the best day ever.
No, my birthday is. No, Mother's Day is.
Aww. She's a good one.